Great to see you coming in. I'm so excited about today's program and happy to just kind of dig in. Going to be talking about pomegranate today, and I'm super excited to do that. So anyway, brief introduction. If you don't know who I am, maybe you're watching for the first time on video on YouTube or Rumble. My name is Becky Montrone. I have a degree in holistic nutrition, and I'm also a full-fledged herbalist. So I see people in private consultation regarding all kinds of health issues, and I work with nutrients, with botanicals, with bioidentical hormones, you name it, anything that I can think of, lifestyle recommendations, diet, etc. And for all different types of problems out there in the health problem world. And also come up with formulas for different health problems, or to just be encouraging of optimal health, and put those all together. So I have a great team here, helps me do that. And many of you have been up here to the shop and know what we're all about here. And it's a lot of fun. It's a very creative environment, and a lot of fun, a lot of laughter happens here. So anyway, we are open here. We're located in Keene, New Hampshire on Roxbury Street at the Miller Forge building, old Miller Forge building on Roxbury Street, which is one of the main corridors coming off of Central Square in Keene. We're kind of famous for our Central Square because they actually did the movie, filmed the movie Jumanji. The original Jumanji movie was filmed here because at the time we had like what is the widest main street in America. It's like one of Keene's claims to fame. And so anyway, we are one of the main drags. And so we're right down, you go down Roxbury Street, a little bit of a hill, a right-hand side. You can't miss that big, huge billboard that says the Miller Forge building. And we have tons of what is a real commodity in Keene, downtown Keene, New Hampshire, is free parking for as long as you want, because sometimes my sessions go as long as 2 hours. And you don't want to be having to be out there on Main Street trying to move your car and plug your meter again. So anyway, that's all well and good. Now, we are located on the 3rd floor, so you can come up. We have full handicap access. So if you need the elevator, that's great. And I'm not handicapped, but I use the elevator. And we also have a very challenging stairwell for those of you who are using that to get your steps in and part of your workout routine. Anyway, as soon as you open either door, the elevator opens, or you open the door up the stairwell, our door is open, and we are open 9:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. The phone number here is 603-439-2603. And you can reach out to me from either of our websites, shopwondrousroots.com and wondrousroots.org. Go to contact us, and that us is me. I get those all come to my email, so nobody else on staff ever interacts with those, sees them or interacts. That's just me. So you have complete confidentiality there as well. Okay, I think I've said all my intro stuff. So last week I was talking, oh, no, I didn't tell you how to, my class, you look like you're all returning students here today. So, but I will just review. If you want to participate, you go to the chat. And you can select there who you want to see your chat. Like maybe you just want me to see it, or maybe you want everybody to see it. You can finagle that. Q&A is down there. And then there's a raise hand. And raise hand is for those who want to speak. And I welcome that. So it's just like when I was doing radio. And you can come on and we'll talk together. So I welcome that. Last week, I did my program on, well, I talked about cucumber seed, which was kind of the lesser of the three, for bone health, cucumber seed. It was one of my clients who informed me about that. And I had been unaware completely about that until she told me. And so I mentioned that. I did put on that newsletter, I put a link to a product on Amazon, and I explained that these cucumber seed comes from China. And I since was in touch with the woman who told me about it, who buys it directly from the practitioner she heard about it from, and that's also from China. And I don't have that. Maybe if I have a few minutes at the end, I'll hunt it down for you. But anyway, the dose on the cucumber seed, one of my clients was asking me because she ordered it from Amazon and it came written in Chinese. And so she had no idea how much to take, right? So you want 3 grams and there's 400 grams. So I figured out if you get the powder, if you get a cucumber seed powder, you'd want about 3/4 to a teaspoon a day per dose. So if that clears up anything for anybody else who might have been wondering about that with the cucumber seed. So then the second thing I talked about was sea buckthorn oil, and more specifically, palmitoleic acid, which is omega-7. It's found in different things, but sea buckthorn berry is a very rich source. So I was kind of really focusing on omega-7 and the sea buckthorn berry. But we also get omega-7 in things like avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, and macadamia nuts, olive oil, and I would think olives. Fish such as salmon, mackerel, herring. So omega-7, because we always think of omega-3. Sometimes we think of omega-6. A lot of times we think, oh, we don't want too much omega-6, right? Polyunsaturated fats. We do need omega-6 from good sources, however, in balance to omega-3, which in the modern Western diet, we're usually completely out of balance, way too many omega-6 from processed foods and not nearly enough omega-3. And then omega-9s, we haven't talked, I don't think I've ever talked about omega-9s, but they're more well-known than say 4 and 5. 9s, I think of primrose seed oil and borage seed oil. And they're known and prized for their effects on the skin. And then the third thing I talked about was, and I practiced, Cindy, I can see you're with us today. You were here when I was practicing the other day. I'm saying that word for PEA. It is palmitoylethanolamide. Palmitoylethanolamide. Class, repeat after me. Palmitoylethanolamide. Doesn't it have a nice ring to it? It's kind of like glutathione. So anyway, I got to say it, glutathione. I always have to say that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my newsletter first. I have put together last weekend, I put together a whole 40-slide presentation on pomegranate today. Pomegranate I'm focusing on for its omega-5. Well, not just that, but it is a rich source of omega-5 fatty acids, which are very vital to health as well, very helpful to health. And so again, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And just learning more and more about those things. So I think without further ado, thank you, Cindy. Cindy said I did a good job pronouncing palmitoylethanolamide, instead of just PEA. Anyway, okay. It is probably like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious almost in the challenge there. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Do I have here? I should have a couple of things here. I'm not going to share that yet. Let me actually go to open the screen that I want to share. Okay. Now share my screen. Whoops. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Whoops. Well, I just seem to be saying whoops a lot these days. Okay. Today. All right. Share that. Whoops. Okay. I think you can see that. Now I'm going to where's my share information? Oh, it's way up there. Okay. Get my participants. I'll get you all on the side here so I can see you. I got my chat over here so I can see if you're chatting with me. Rearrange that. You might have to do the same thing once I go into share. You might have to like move things around a little bit. Okay, so, whoops, all right. So what I want to tell you about is, this is really kind of cool. I told you last week that I was redoing my website, and I redid my website, and it's up there, but I'm adding to it. Now, one of the things that I didn't like about my previous website was At that point in time, when I did that template, that was years ago, I was unable to upload PDF informational files to it, which was really frustrating to me because those of you who know me know that I love to share information. That's why we're doing what we're doing right now. And when you come in for a meeting with me, or you just come in to ask me a question, I'm like, oh, I'll print you out an article about that. I'll print you out something. I'll print it out. I'll print it out. I've got, if you look over here, this is supposed to be pre-printed out printouts, but I always run out and I can't keep up because I'm always handing out information. Here's glutathione, the miracle molecule. Here's how melatonin works for prostate cancer. Here, print, and I print it out for you. Or I'll say to you in email, here, I'm going to send you a bunch of attachments, or I'll send you an attachment on that. So anyway, what's happening now is I'm just started this last night, and I was up till the very wee hours of the morning. The birds were singing, but I was having a blast because I was so excited that I can do this. So you can see down here, I'm just going to take you to that part of the website. Well, maybe I'll just take you to, well, yeah, I'll do that. And then I'll just kind of backtrack here a little bit. So the media library, that's where you're going to find here, if you drop down. So here are the most recent videos with a description. I redid those and I put my link to the newsletter in there too. So that's really good. Then I was like, I lost all of my archives from 2015. And I wanted to go to my website to find things like information for somebody on vagus nerve the other day. And I would normally just go to my website and go find it, right? So, but it's not there. So I have to do those all by hand, and that's fine. I did 2022 last night as well. So if you click there, you can see, you know, this is December. That was the newsletter from that day. And then if you go, whoops. Now how do I do that? Oh yeah, go back to the archives. And then if you want to hear the recording, some of the recordings as we get into the older years are not going to be there, but here you actually can see that that one's on SoundCloud. So anyway, it goes back. So you can do this now. The search bar on my other website too did not work very well. So this one does. So this one, say you're looking for information on glutathione. You just type that in there and you go here. Now it tells you, it first takes you to the blog posts, right? And there's only one mention of glutathione there, but on other pages, and this was a page I did last night. And you can see here, if you click on glutathione, it's going to take you to my glutathione page where I started to put up my PDFs. So here you go. You're like, Becky's always talking about glutathione. You're going to be able to find them here in research files. So you're going to see the research files. That's an overview. And then, which is here. And it tells you to go to the search bar or go here. And then as I come up with a page for each one, you'll see them drop down in alphabetical order, or you can search. I'm so excited about this because knowledge is power, right? I mean, what we understand, and just if I can direct you to the research I've vetted, if you will, or that research that I feel is valuable enough for me to keep in my thousands of research files on my computer, and there won't be thousands here, but I'll take a lot of them, the ones that I really think are valuable, and make them available to you very easily. So here you go to glutathione, and you have glutathione, the miracle molecule, and there's that handout most of you have seen. Right? Because everybody gets that one. But it's all right there. And then, okay, so this is how I explain. People are like, well, why can't I just take reduced glutathione? Why can't I just take, NAC? And so I have a page that I give my clients that explains that, the reason for that. So anyway, I'm so excited about this. I can't even tell you. I'm just tickled. Okay, so anyway, you get the idea. Okay, so now where do I want to go back to? I'll go here. That's where I was. Okay. So anyway, this presentation, without further ado, you'll see here that I do have down in the newsletter. Maybe we'll just get back to that later, but I'm going to share my screen again. And let's see, screen sharing. I want to go to, different, well, I guess I'm just going to stop and start again. Go here. Okay. And let's bring this out. Participants chat. And I hope that that looks really visible to everybody. If it doesn't look nice and clean, let me know. Okay. All right. So here we go. I think I can just do it like, yep, I can. When I've done my PowerPoint presentations for you before online, I've done them as PDFs. And so then I had to scroll, but I learned how I could do this and share on just one screen and still do my Zoom. I learned that this morning. Okay, life is a learning curve. All right, so here we go. Whoops. I just want to actually move this bar. I don't know if that bar is in the way. Can you guys see like the bar that says all that? I don't think you can. No. Okay, good. Because I just don't want anything in the way of my presentation, my beautiful presentation. Okay, backspace. No. Backspace. I wanted to go the other way. Okay, that's interesting. Now it looks like I'm just breezing right through it. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, pomegranate, a powerhouse for health. Okay, so interesting, isn't it? The way that fruit looks, it's absolutely beautiful. Again, shows you just the absolute, what do I want to say? Fun of our Creator, of God, of the Lord, our Creator, because you know He didn't have to make pomegranates that beautiful. Okay, so the pomegranate, there you've got the Latin Punica granutum, is one of the oldest fruits known to humans. It's deeply embedded in our history. Yeah, there's a lot of folklore around pomegranate, I learned. For thousands of years, it has been a vital provider of food and medicine across different cultures and civilizations. So in the Great Persian Empire, pomegranate had a wide reputation to use both as herbal medicine and as nutritious food. It was also a symbol of peace and love, according to the Achaemenid. Okay, there's one for next week. I'll practice that one. First, find out how it's pronounced. Achaemenid limestones in the Great Persia. So the Great Persian Empire, right, came along right after the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire. So that's probably like in the late 400s BC, 400s, late 400s, probably between 400 and 500 BC. Disease fighter, the fruit, the flowers, the bark, roots, and leaves of the pomegranates contain chemicals. So again, the whole plant does something with regard to health. You're just like, wow, I just thought that was a beautiful, tasty fruit. The juice is really tasty. The little seeds are a little bit of a challenge to eat raw, I think, but I've got some recipes there in the newsletter too, for making use of those. The pomegranates contain chemicals such as polyphenols that can be used to treat a number of diseases and conditions. It is rich in vitamin C and in folate. We know folate is very important to health, super, super important. B vitamin, not vitamin B9 that we need in minuscule amounts, but if we don't have it and can't assimilate it, we are not healthy. Ancient cultures understood the health benefits of pomegranates and use it in remedies for digestive disorders, skin disorders, and intestinal parasites. Modern day research has revealed that pomegranates might contribute towards preventing serious conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Now, in this slide presentation and in the PDF, which I have the complete 40-slide PDF in my newsletter for you to just have, you can open it up. And if you don't know how to, might not just say how to download a PDF, but all you have to do is take it to print and then in your printer thing, go to print it to PDF, right? And then you just save it in the file you want on your computer, just in case you don't know how to do that. But it's great because you're going to find that you can open all of these links. And I'm assuming you can see that link. Can somebody tell me, can you see the link I just opened that says Punica granatum, putative anti-diabetic herbal food ingredients? If somebody would just type in the chat and let me know, because I don't see the green around it. Okay, that's cool. Lori says whole pomegranate fruit extract is the main ingredient in an herbal blood pressure remedy called Gaia Systolic Complex. That makes sense. She said it works really great for her. And I remember, Lori, you were having issues with your blood pressure. So, but can people see this page I just opened? I don't know if, yes, you can. Okay, thanks, Cindy. All right, great. All right. And then I'll just go back here. Okay. Some impressive health benefits are for your heart, your cardiovascular, as Lori was just saying, skin, immunity, cancer immunity, they kind of dovetail, but also immunity, like I don't want to get sick. Microbiome, balancing the microbiome of the body. And the microbiome is more than just the intestines. Arthritis, diabetes, fertility. Now, when we see these things, diabetes, fertility, weight, oral health, prostate, sports recovery, hormone support, all of these things are modern day, what we would say they would fit in somewhere into the complex of chronic disease, problems with the cardiovascular, skin issues, diabetes, fertility issues, weight, obesity, oral health, the mouth, all of these things. These are things that are, they're things that we all face, or we don't maybe all face, but they're all possibly something we could face. And they're in the picture of diseases that people suffer from. And that we, in the kind, like when I say we, those of us who do what I do and think like we think, is about preventing those things. Or if we have them, or if we have someone we're caring for or someone we love and want to help, we can help them deal with them in a way that is helpful, many times non-pharmaceutical, and actually heals and restores the body rather than simply letting you live with, say, diabetes on medication or high blood pressure on medication. You get the idea, but you knew that anyway. So, primary mechanisms of action are, again, it's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. So macrophage oxidative stress. So going after free radicals and the lipid peroxidation. So we get a lot of free radicals generated by fat lipid peroxidation. So the oxidization of fats, that's what makes omega-6 from polyunsaturated oils, vegetable oils, so damaging, is that they are oxidized and they cause inflammation. And inflammation causes damage. In the arteries, for example, it causes cracks and crevices that now have to be patched up with plaque. And so you get the idea. So we've talked about that. What makes glutathione so miraculous is it's one of its big things. Is it is the highest, considered the highest antioxidant in the body, going after free radicals. And so this is a very, very important because oxidative stress is involved in so many areas of health, even psychiatric health. It's been discovered that even depression and anxiety can be related to oxidative stress, not simply a neurotransmitter imbalance. So that's the mechanism by which glutathione is very good for anxiety, by the way. So anyway, just going in anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, super important. And almost everything I talk about here, when I'm talking about natural things, whatever food it is I've talked about, or herb or plant, we always see that. We see antioxidant, oxidative stress. Anti-carcinogenic, So it's anti-cancer. So it's anti-proliferative, which means it's stopping the proliferation, that multiplication of those cells that have gone awry. It's anti-invasive and anti-metastatic. So anti-proliferative, stopping the tumor from, okay, so say you have a breast tumor, cancer tumor. It's helping the cells not multiply. It's helping the tumor not to invade, invasive ductal carcinoma. Okay, that's an example. Anti-metastatic, it's helping that cancerous tumor to not spread to other parts of the body. I mean, that's fantastic. David Heber, MD, and again, there's a link in there that you can go to, founding director of the UCLA Center for Human Nutrition, and so Li Jiaping Li, MD, chief of the Division of Clinical Nutrition at UCLA, both addressed the variety of health benefits offered by the pomegranate. It has the largest and most potent polyphenol antioxidant known. So polyphenol means coming from plant. It has the largest and most potent antioxidant known. Wow. And when it gets into your intestine, this polyphenol is broken down to smaller molecules that enter into the bloodstream. Pomegranates contain alligotannins. Alligotannins are bioactive polyphenols, chemical compounds found in the peel and the seeds of a pomegranate. They employ anti-inflammatory effects on the cells in the body. So alligotannins. So I use ellagic acid. Ellagic acid we get from pomegranate, we get from raspberries. So raspberries are another source of alligotannins. Ellagic acid has been shown to be very effective against cancers such as cervical cancer. There was a big study done years ago at Tufts University regarding ellagic acid and cervical cancer. So what I do when somebody tells me, oh, I got a pap smear, my pap smear came back as ascus, right? Atypical squamous cells of unknown significance. That's kind of like you're told by your healthcare provider that could be a precursor of cervical cancer. And so sometimes they want to do a colposcopy or a biopsy, find out, just find out what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So I will put people on glutathione and ellagic acid. And I've seen their scores. Even one woman had a score so bad on her pap smear or either the pap smear or the biopsy or whatever, that when the doctor was giving her the news, the doctor actually started to cry. And over about a year's time, we just completely reversed that with glutathione and ellagic acid capsules. So it's very, very potent. Again, wow. People just need to know. We just need to know because we have more power than we know we do, than we think we do. We are just so not out there waiting for the next shoe to fall if we keep educating ourselves. So this is really cool. I share this slide because in the greenmedinfo.com database, there are, at least there were last weekend when I did this, 562 abstracts with pomegranate research. So I'm going to click on this, but just bear with me because Green Med Info has so much information on there. They take that when I try to go to them, they take forever to load. So, but I'm going to do it just to give you a little bit of an example on how to use this really cool resource. What you can do there is you can go and you can look, you can type in, say you want to know like how pomegranate works for your health condition, right? Maybe is there any information about that? And so what you can do is then over in, okay, so there we go. So you'll see there over in here, you can go to, there are 45 pieces on oxidative stress. So you can click on that, or maybe that. Yeah. And then it's going to give you those ones that have to do with oxidative stress. So here we go. Lori was talking about pomegranate on blood pressure and on blood pressure. So here we have this. Now, here you go. This is actually, it's on their database, right? But they've got taken it from a PubMed link. And so there you can go and you can see that. Is that cool? So again, when you're told by your healthcare provider, you know, there's no research on this stuff. There's just no research. So, you know, stick with the things we've got research on. Then you want to understand that that's not the case. 562 scientific abstracts with pomegranate research. Okay. So different parts of the plant here. We have the leaves, have the tannins. I'm not going to read those names. Flavone, Cindy, glycosides, apigenin, luteolin. I can say those. Minerals, the arils, which I think of as the seeds, polyphenols, isoflavones, organic acids, lipids, oleic, stearic, and palmitic acid, polyunsaturated fatty acids, the linolenic and the linoleic acid. Now, I want to tell you about that. I don't know if any of you follow Dr. Joseph Mercola. I do, and I think he's a wonderful resource. But he's really kind of, if you followed him, and our thinking does evolve and change as we learn more things. But I mean, you would think linoleic acid was the worst thing in the world. He's like, this is causing Alzheimer's disease. This is causing blah, 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 blah. But yet you find that because, but where people are getting too much linoleic acid in their processed foods with their polyunsaturated oils and their seed oils and things like that. But you need some linoleic acid, and it's super important. And we're going to find when we get to the part when we talk a little bit later about its impact on the brain, that it is actually that part of it. And he's like, he just did a whole thing, I think within the last week or two, about linoleic acid and Alzheimer's disease. And yet we find that we need linoleic acid coming, like as it comes from pomegranate here, in a way that it's used in the brain in a very important way. So again, sometimes we can just throw out the baby with the bathwater. We're like, well, that's bad. You know, it might be bad in imbalance, but it's a necessary fatty acid. Okay. Like we need some polyunsaturated fatty acids. We don't need them from corn oil, and rapeseed oil, canola oil, and things like that, peanut oil, right? But we need some polyunsaturated fats from good sources, such as the pomegranate. The juice has the lignans, the organic acids, the ellagic acid. So that's where we're getting that I was talking about from raspberries too. Fatty acids, alkaloids, triterpenoids, phytosterols. So phytosterols, this is the part here. When you see that, you're thinking immune system modulation. If I go back a little bit here, immunity. I think I talked about, maybe I didn't, but I will, autoimmune. So very important when we have plant sterols, or like, think about those of you I have taking Moducare because you have an autoimmune illness, or quercetin as well. I think Moducare is a little bit, but plant sterols. So plant sterols, we also use for, say, benign prostatic hypertrophy. The sterols, beta sitosterol is known to help, and so is Moducare, because these are the fat part of the plant. Think of it that way. Cholesterol is the animal sterol. Phytosterols come from plants. And so this is exerting an effect on the phytosterols here, because pomegranate is huge for the prostate, is exerting an effect on the prostate health and that inflammation that comes. And it's exerting an effect on your immune system by balancing it, because of the imbalance that comes with the imbalance of the Th1, Th2 response of the immune system. Too weak over here, too aggressive over here. And then the pericarp, otherwise what I would call the peel, hydrosoluble tannins, flavonoids, elegotannins, punicolagens. It sounds like pugilistic. It sounds like boxing or something, but no, punicolagens. Minerals, potassium, phosphorus, sodium, calcium, nitrogen, and magnesium. Okay, accumulating data clearly claimed that Punica granatum, pomegranate, has several health benefits. Pomegranates can help prevent or treat various disease risk factors, including high blood pressure, again, Lori, high cholesterol, oxidative stress, hyperglycemia, and inflammatory activities. It is demonstrated that certain components of pomegranate, such as polyphenols, have potent potential antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-carcinogenic effects. The antioxidant potential, I think this is really cool. The antioxidant potential of pomegranate juice is more than that of red wine and green tea, which is induced through the elegotannins and the hydrosoluble tannins. Hydrosoluble tannins. Pomegranate juice can reduce macrophage oxidative stress, free radicals, and lipid peroxidation. Moreover, pomegranate fruit extract prevents cell growth and induces apoptosis, programmed cell death. Hey, I'm going to come over there and try to help you repair yourself, misbehaving entity. Chromosome damage to the DNA, you're misbehaving, and we don't want you to continue to make another one like you. So you're going to have to turn the gun on yourself. That's programmed cell death, otherwise known as apoptosis, which leads to its anti-carcinogenic effects. In addition, promoter inhibition of some inflammatory markers in their production are blocked via elegotannins. So again, that ellagic acid. In this article, we highlight different studies on the therapeutic effects of pomegranate and their suggested mechanisms of action. You will see where I quote people here, you are going to be able to find a slide. You're going to be able to find a link to everything that I talk about. It's not just like, oh, trust me, I read it somewhere and I gave you this. No, you're going to actually be able to link to it. Isn't that cool? That's just great. Okay, elegotannins are a large group of bioactive compounds found in plant source foods such as pomegranates, berries, and nuts. And the consumption of elegotannins has often been associated with positive effects on many pathologies, including cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative syndromes, and cancer. Big, big problems in today's world. The clinic, the people lining up to get in line to go in and get admitted to go into the waiting rooms and wait and see their doctors every day here at Cheshire Medical Center. That's what they're going for. They're going for cancer. They're going for cardiovascular disease. They're going for diabetes, and they're going in there for dementia and all of these things, right? This is what modern medicine is. This is what their waiting rooms are full of. And this is what we want to do. We don't want to be next in line for the waiting room. So omega-5 fatty acids. Omega-5s are a group of fatty acids found in pomegranate seed oil and other foods and are known for their health benefits. They have strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, which help to protect your cells from damage. Studies have found that omega-5s can help maintain insulin sensitivity. There we go, the diabetes. Promote healthy cholesterol balance, reduce the risk of cancer, maintain a healthy body weight. Again, promote healthy cholesterol balance. That's what we want. People are like, my doctor wants to put me on a statin drug to lower my cholesterol. I'm like, what can I do naturally that will lower my cholesterol? I'm like, why do we want to lower your cholesterol? We want to make sure your lipids are in balance, but we don't want to just slam your cholesterol level down, because cholesterol is the Lord and giver of life. And so anyway, reduce the risk of cancer, maintain a healthy body weight, and protect the brain from degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease. Again, a one-stop shop in one beautiful fruit. Omega-5, otherwise known as myristoleic acid, is less common in nature, found primarily in the seed oil from plants in the Myristaceae genus, where nutmeg is the most well-known. Who knew, right? The oil is also extracted from saw palmetto, which is really interesting. That's the reason I put saw palmetto in my Fluens formula for the flu. You're like, but Becky, saw palmetto's for the prostate, right? Right. but it's got myristoleic acid in it. And myristoleic acid we also get from coconut. That's a big source of myristoleic acid. And it's also another source of omega-5. But anyway, so yeah, the saw palmetto is in there because of its effects on the immune system. But it is from saw palmetto has been shown to effectively combat cancer cells in prostate and pancreatic cancer. So saw palmetto is, yes, very important for those things. Additionally, omega-5 may play a key role in the inhibition of 5-lipoxygenase. Okay, that's a huge, big mediator of inflammation. So 5-LOX is like, if you look at anti-inflammatory drugs, like, and I'm just throwing one out there, like meloxicam. All right, I'm sure that LOX, that's what that's for. Meloxicam is an anti-inflammatory medication that people take for pain. And I'm sure the LOX is related to that pathway. Thus, by acting in this anti-inflammatory capacity, it helps to promote appropriate inflammation in the body. So we need inflammation, right? But we don't want it out of control. Food sources of omega-5 beyond extracting myristoleic acid from the aforementioned plants include the fat of marine animals like wild Alaskan salmon, beavers, no thank you, and bovines. Cows, sure, I'll have a steak. Not into the beaver yet. Okay. What are the benefits of eating foods rich in omega-5? So maintaining brain health, improving cognitive function, have been shown to play a crucial role in maintaining brain health, reducing the risk of brain-related issues and improving memory. So we're going to kind of get in there. Foods rich in omega-5, pomegranate seed oil, full-fat, grass-fed dairy products. Okay, so again, that's really important. You need the fat to get the omega-5. And again, the grass-fed. And this is because you're getting, the cows are making like they do conjugated linoleic acid, right? CLA. We can't eat the grass and get the omega-5 from the grass, but the cows can. The cows get the grass and then they make, in their bodies, they make the omega-5 from the grass and then we eat the steak. So that's why you're grass-fed. Because your USDA, your regular steak or your regular beef, your regular cow products that are not grass-fed do not have those benefits. Coconut oil, salmon, snake gourd, which is a vegetable, and moringa oil. Remember we talked about moringa? I did a presentation on that not that terribly long ago. Moringa just has so many different health properties to be said for it. So here we go, delving into pomegranate and heart health. I thought that was very clever. Pomegranate seeds all in there. So pomegranate is a source of some very potent antioxidants, which are considered to be also potent anti-atherogenic agents. So our atherosclerosis, we think of cardiovascular disease where you've got plaque and stuff building up in your arteries. The combination of the above unique various types of pomegranate polyphenols provides a much wider spectrum of action against several types of free radicals. Again, here we go, that free radical damage. Indeed, pomegranate is superior in comparison to other antioxidants in protecting low-density lipoprotein, the so-called bad cholesterol, and high-density lipoprotein, the so-called good cholesterol, from oxidation. And as a result, it attenuates atherosclerosis development and its consequent cardiovascular events. So what you have with the low density LDL that's harmful, and I've said this before, for the arteries, for cardiovascular health, is a small particle LDL. And it's very small in its structure, molecular structure. It's very hard and gnarly, and it oxidizes and it causes a lot of damage. The way we make it nice and light and fluffy and not damaging is by eating plenty of saturated fats, believe it or not. And so you've got here with the pomegranate, you have some moderation here of the lipids. So again, I think I've talked about citrus bergamot before in its modulation of the triglycerides and the LDL and HDL and the cholesterol and how they are in your body and how they are in balance. Pomegranate antioxidants are not free, but are attached to the pomegranate sugars and hence were shown to be beneficial even in diabetic patients. Furthermore, pomegranate antioxidants are unique in their ability to increase the activity of the HDL-associated peroxidase, which breaks down harmful oxidized lipids in lipoproteins in macrophages. Macrophages are your white blood cells that go after, they gobble up invaders, and including cancer, and in atherosclerotic plaques. Finally, unique pomegranate antioxidants beneficially decrease blood pressure. All the above beneficial characteristics make the pomegranate a uniquely healthy fruit. And again, you can go and see that like there. There you go. Pomegranate for your cardiovascular health. Just, yeah. Okay. Okay, so pomegranate and blood pressure specifically, as Lori was pointing out earlier. Hypertension is the most common disease in primary care of patients. Wow, it is, yeah. And I'm telling you right now, since they lowered the standard with the SPRINT study, based on the SPRINT study, which was a flawed study, and I have information on that. Ooh, I'll be putting that up in my files on my new website. Yeah, Dr. David Brownstein's comments on that. But now they want everybody, no matter your age, to be 120, 120 on your systolic number. So now everybody has high blood pressure. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. But anyway, it is a problem for people. It is found in comorbidity with diabetes and cardiovascular disease, and the majority of patients do not tend to be medicated. The pomegranate juice prevents the enzyme of serum angiotensin converting enzyme. So the ACE inhibitors, right? So my doctor put me on an ACE inhibitor, a medication. I think like lisinopril is an ACE inhibitor, but here you've got ACE inhibition. And other things do that as well. I know a Clonia cava extract does that very nicely. And so this is what you do. You look at medications and with all these side effects and you say, what are they working on? And what's it like we did that with magnesium, right? Because magnesium is nature's calcium channel blocker. So for your heart rhythm. So you get the idea. It's really exciting. So anyway, pomegranate juice prevents the activity of serum angiotensin converting enzyme and reduces systolic blood pressure. According to a study, people with high blood pressure who had a glass of pomegranate juice, 150 mils a day between lunch and dinner for 2 weeks, experienced a significant reduction in blood pressure. And that's not a lot of, okay, so there are, okay, hang on. 4 times 30 equals, there's, in 4 ounces, there's 120 milliliters. So you're looking at like a 4 ounce, like a half a glass, maybe 6 ounces, maybe 6 ounces of pomegranate juice a day is what they were doing there. Okay. Pomegranate and arterial plaque. Pomegranate juice consumption resulted in a significant intima media thickness reduction. So here you see the intimate media, which is normally thin. And then you've got the all of this. Here's where your plaque goes, right? By up to 30% after 1 year, reads the most eye-opening line in the study's abstract. So here we have pomegranate juice, healthy fruit juice. Says it also decreased lipid peroxidation in patients with type 2 diabetes and systolic blood pressure and serum angiotensin converting enzyme activity, ACE, in hypertensive patients. So thus the potential cardioprotective benefits of pomegranate juice deserve further clinical investigation, and evidence to date suggests it may be prudent to include this fruit juice in a heart-healthy diet. This was printed back in 2009, was the study published. Oh, there's no studies on that stuff, Becky. No. So now we come to pomegranate and cancer. So here, with regard to pomegranate and prostate cancer, you have here that it actually interferes with tumor growth, and it also interferes with metastasis. So the prostate cancer itself, and then the prostate cancer spreading to other parts of the body. And that you can pull up there. And maybe you, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. You see there's a long study here that really kind of goes through all of that. Very, very exciting. I think there was one more here. And here you have the things that are working against the metastasis here, the luteolin, the punic acid, and the ellagic acid I was talking about. So this isn't pie in the sky. This isn't like, oh, you know, I'm just going to go out and, you know, eat some weeds or something and just, you know, and not take care of myself. This is very, 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 very important. And this was published back in 2014 in the International Journal of Molecular Science. Pomegranate and breast cancer. So this is very cool. Pomegranate inhibits tumor development. So pomegranate fruit and pomegranate extracts have been shown to inhibit proliferation, so the growth of the multiplication of those cells within tumor mass, and the angiogenesis. So angiogenesis is cancer tumors need to attract to themselves a new supply of blood vessels to fuel them, to feed them, to make sure they're getting plenty of glucose to feed them. And so it helps shut off the tumor's ability to promote more blood vessel growth to access nutrient. Including hormone receptor, okay, in a variety of, okay, the growth of new blood vessels in a variety of breast cancer cell types, including hormone receptor positive, ER plus PR, estrogen receptor positive plus progesterone receptor positive. Remember last week, talked about progesterone. No, 2 weeks ago, we talked about progesterone. We talked about how having a progesterone receptor cancer was a plus, not a minus, because it turns off the oncogenic stuff that the estrogen does. In those receptors. So anyway, triple negative. Okay, so you've got the most common cancer, breast cancer people get is estrogen receptor positive. Sometimes positive progesterone receptor positive too. But if it's progesterone receptor positive, everything's estrogen receptor positive if you're progesterone receptor positive. Estrogen receptor negative, estrogen receptor negative, progesterone receptor negative, and HER2 negative is called triple negative breast cancer. And that can be very tricky because the normal things you do to affect hormones don't have effect there. And HER2 overexpressing. So HER2 is when you have, in addition to the fact that you've got the cancer, and HER2 positive cancers are, I believe, I'm completely correct on this, always at least estrogen receptor positive. And then they're HER2 as well. They're HER2 also. But HER2 means you have this excessive epithelial growth factor going on. And so not only are you producing more cancer cells, more proliferation, but those cells are proliferating at a much higher rate. And so that's what makes a HER2 cancer more aggressive than the standard ER, PR positive breast cancers. But in addition to inhibiting the tumor development, pomegranate compounds inhibit the aromatase, so having an effect on the hormones. So a new study has demonstrated that L-agatanin compounds derived from pomegranate can, oh, thank you, Dr. May, can reduce estrogen receptor positive proliferation by inhibiting aromatase activity. So this is what they're after when you got done your breast cancer treatment and you're all done, and they say, now we want to put you on letrozole, or now we want to put you on anastrozole, or now we want to put you on tamoxifen, and we want to go after these aromatase things. And Dale says he's going to start drinking pomegranate juice again. Good. I'll pick some up at the store on the way home. I'll have a sip myself. or two. So yeah, so you've got the aromatase activity. So the anti-aromatase. So this is really important. So we're doing that. What else do we do for that for women with breast cancer or concerned about that? Say you've been through treatment and everything. We use iodine, right? Should have been using iodine in the first place. Probably wouldn't have gotten cancer. I don't say that in every case because there are some very exceptional things, but for the most part, iodine will do that by locking into the estrogen receptors and modulating them. Using the pomegranate compound here can do that. Melatonin actually does that as well, and progesterone. So when we say, if my doctor says I have got to go on this, but I get the worst leg cramps. I saw somebody who was prescribed letrozole for infertility treatment, and she ended up with full-blown crippling case of rheumatoid arthritis. So again, we're doing things here without the negative side effects. And then pomegranate inhibits breast cancer metastasis. So that's the spreading of the breast cancer to other areas of the body. Pomegranate juice and specific components inhibit cell and molecular processes critical for metastasis of breast cancer. And let's just take a little look at that one. Yeah. Yeah, very, very interesting. Pomegranate juice and 3 of its specific components have been shown to inhibit processes involved in prostate cancer metastasis. If this also proves to be true for breast cancer, these natural treatments will be promising agents against breast cancer that can serve as potentially effective and non-toxic alternatives or adjuncts to the use of conventional selective estrogen receptor modulators for breast cancer prevention and treatment. And to test this possibility, we have used 2 blah, 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 we confirm these proposed effects on gene expression. And in addition, we found that a gene important in epithelial to mesenchymal transitions is decreased. We also found that pro-inflammatory cytokines, chemokines are significantly reduced by these treatments, thereby having the potential to decrease inflammation and its impact on cancer progression. Discovery that pomegranate juice and L and E, luteolin and the ellagic acid, and P, the punicic acid, okay, those components are inhibitory of metastatic processes in breast cancer cells, in addition to prostate cancer cells, indicate that they are potentially a very effective treatment to prevent cancer progression in general, at your grocery store. Pomegranate and diabetes. This review focused on the scientific evidence of pomegranate juice as hypoglycemic, bringing the blood sugar down, emphasizing the chemical composition and the possible mechanisms of action associated with this effect. Studies were identified using the PubMed, blah, 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 blah. Physiological responses to pomegranate juice are reported here, including a decrease of oxidative stress damage, an increase of insulin-dependent glucose uptake, maintenance of beta cell integrity, inhibition of non-enzymatic protein glycation. Remember, we use protein glycation. What do we use for that? Benfotiamine. Remember, I've talked about that. We use that for diabetic neuropathy. We use it for, we're going to find out too, that this, anyway. Okay, so just trust me on that, because I know what I'm thinking about, and I'll tell you when I get there. But again, blocking glycation, the binding of sugar to protein, which is very involved in diabetic retinopathy, diabetic kidney nephropathy, and a diabetic peripheral neuropathy of the nerves, that horrible neuropathic pain. Of a amylase, inhibition of blah, 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 blah. Alpha amylase, so that's like inhibition, so you're not quite breaking down your carbohydrate and absorbing all that carbohydrate. Very interesting. Decreases inflammation. Overall, we found a significant hypoglycemic effect of pomegranate in vitro test tube and in vivo living organism studies, and we summarize the potential mechanisms of action. Again, that can be found there. Pomegranate and your skin, and we are going to be adding pomegranate oil, which I've already ordered, to our Wondrous skincare line, to the base oil and then the base oil that makes everything else. Even though we have so many other exquisite oils in there, I'm like, no, pomegranate, we've got to do the pomegranate. Antioxidant powerhouse, natural sun protection. Remember when I did the thing on sunshine and sunscreens, we talked about what makes a person burn. They've used up their antioxidant potential. Their antioxidant stores have been used up and now they're burning because the antioxidants are no longer shielding them from the burn. Moisturization, anti-inflammatory, collagen production, brightening effect, exfoliation, anti-acne, healing properties, and detoxification. In combating UV-induced stresses on animal skin and in vitro models where cells and microorganisms are separated from the whole organism. They have aided in healing wounds and have been shown major anti-inflammatory, analgesic, and antibacterial properties. So excellent for applied to the skin. I've got a really cool recipe there. Enhanced pomegranate consumption daily and oral pomegranate consumption may lead to enhanced protection from UV photo damage. Again, why? You're getting those antioxidants in your body. You're protecting yourself. I talked about that fern, the leukomatosis, blah, 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 polypotamus leukomatosis or something, polypodium leukomatosis, I think. Hey, pretty good. I think I got that right. But anyway, we talked about that. So this is a similar effect, right? We're taking this inside. It's protecting the skin from the photo damage from the outside. And this is cool. If you open that PDF and you go to this slide, you'll see take a handful of pomegranate beads and make a smooth paste by grinding them in a grinding machine or blender. Mix this paste well with 1 tablespoon of pure raw organic honey. The mixture should be uniform of medium consistency with some stickiness. Apply it all over your face and neck and wait for half an hour. Once it dries, rinse with cold water. Use this face mask 2 to 3 times every week to get soft, blemish-free, and glowing skin. And just the relaxation of lying there doing that, right? And it seems like it would smell so good. The honey and the, pure raw organic honey right there is great for your skin. Pomegranate in your teeth can help you prevent the plaque buildup that leads to tooth decay and gum disease. One study investigated the effect of pomegranate juice on dental plaque. Participants in the research did not clean their teeth for 24 hours. These people then rinsed their mouths with 30 milliliters of pomegranate juice. Researchers measured, that's 1 ounce. Researchers measured the amount of plaque buildup before and after the participants rinsed with the juice. The study concluded that pomegranate juice can significantly lower the number of oral bacteria that can form plaque. Notably, the juice was particularly effective against lactobacilli bacteria. Participants in the study saw a 46% reduction in the type of bacteria after they rinsed with pomegranate juice. Right, but then you've got like pink teeth. I don't know, but well, rinse with your pomegranate juice and then wait a little bit and then rinse with something else like water. Okay. Menopausal symptoms and quality of life. And again, here we look at the doctrine of signatures. It's similar looking to a uterus. And we see many times in nature that the walnut is really good for the brain, right? But it looks like a brain. Pomegranate, really good for hormonal health. And can resemble the female reproductive organ of the uterus. Menopausal symptoms, quality of life. They did the study. I'm running a little bit over here. Well, I got started a little late too, so I'm doing okay. It said a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial was performed among 78 healthy women. Participants were interviewed 3 times. Before receiving the supplement placebo, after completing the treatment, and after 3 weeks with no intervention. They filled out the demographic information sheet, blah, 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 quality of life. So I imagine hot flashes, weight gain, headaches, I don't know, whatever. The mean scores of the modified index and the bubble characteristic before and after the treatment and after the follow-up period were significantly different between pomegranate and placebo groups in both the modified BOV scores. You can see the whole study there. This study demonstrated that 4 weeks treatment with a pomegranate supplement significantly ameliorates the irritating symptoms of menopause and improves the quality of life in menopausal women, even after 4 weeks of medicine deprivation. Okay, so they meant after 4 weeks of not taking the pomegranate anymore. The pomegranate was the medicine here. Okay, and then pomegranate and sports performance. You can see there's a whole page on that. So very good for people, with your workouts and things like that. Another thing that works very much like that is elderberry. No, not elderberry. Currants is blackcurrant fruit. But anyway, the review indicates that pomegranate has the potential to enhance exercise performance and to expedite recovery from intensive exercise. The findings and recommendations from this review may help to optimize pomegranate supplementation practice in athletes and coaches to potentially improve exercise performance and post-exercise recovery. So I'm sure many people would be interested in that. And that's kind of what we just looked at. So just kind of wrapping up here, some pomegranate folklore. Bring my screen down a little bit. According to Jewish lore, the pomegranate contains 613 seeds, one for each mitzvah. For millennia across Europe, Persia, and Asia, in Buddhist, Islamic, Judaic, and Christian traditions, pomegranates have been invoked as a symbol of fertility and sometimes smashed in bridal chambers to encourage the birth of many children. In The Unicorn in Captivity, a medieval European tapestry one can inspect before touring the Quince Grove at the Met Cloisters in Manhattan, a unicorn sits within a low-fenced pasture beneath a pomegranate tree. He looks content in captivity, a symbol of fertility and marriage and the fertility of a soul's marriage with Christ. The unicorn appears to be bleeding from the wounds of the hunt that chained him to this tree. On closer inspection, the wounds don't bleed, they weep seeds, and the blood is pomegranate juice. There's just a little bit of history. So in summary, pomegranate is a superiorly rich source of nutrients, vitally beneficial to health. Pomegranate has been shown to be useful for maintaining optimal health across a broad range of body systems to include blood sugar control, brain health, skin health, oral health, the intestinal microbiome, prevention and treatment of cancer, heart and cardiovascular health, sports recovery and joint health, hormonal health, and more. Yes, there's more when you look in the studies on the sports recovery and stuff about the cartilage and the chondro protection and restoration as well. All parts of the pomegranate are useful for health: the seeds, the arils, the juice, the leaves, and the skin. And adding pomegranate in some form, whether juice, fruit, or supplements on a daily or very regular basis, is a very good way to support your overall health. Go to health. And that takes us to the end of that presentation. Got a Joe, can you, ask to unmute. Okay, Joe, can you hear me? Can I hear you?
There, now can you hear me?
Yes, I totally can.
Just want to let you know, I wasn't sure if you were ignoring me, but I've had my hand up for 45 minutes.
I am so sorry. I was so engaged, like just staring at the presentation, that I didn't even look over there and see you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, no problem. It was an interesting presentation anyway. But I just want to let you know that a lot of people don't buy pomegranates because they have a difficult time getting the seeds out. But it's really easy, because if you cut it in half, then all you do is you hold it over a bowl, you take a wooden spoon and you beat the heck out of the outside, and all the seeds just pop right out.
Oh, okay. That's a great tip.
Very easy.
Yeah, they are. They're terrible. They're very hard to get out. They're very hard to get out.
If you do that, you get them out in a few seconds.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's an awesome tip. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great. And I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long. Goodness.
Well, that's all right. I just wanted to let you know that that happened a couple of times before too, that you should check once in a while, because I don't know if anybody else had their hand raised or what. But,
yeah, I will. I usually do. And I was just kind of glancing down at I was just glancing down more at the chat, and I didn't look up when I see the hand raise is way at the top, and I just didn't happen to see it. But
well, I would have put it on chat and told you, but I'm you know me, I can't type, so
no, it's good. It's good. I'm just glad I got you in there. And thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the tip. That's really great.
All right, I'll be emailing you anyway.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Joe. I look forward to it. Just going to share my screen one more time. Let's see. I thought I had. I guess I don't have my, I guess I won't. So anyway, I guess what I'll say, because we're running late here, is just there in the newsletter, you'll see a couple of recipes. There's a really cool one, a spaghetti squash with chicken. And I found several recipes when I was looking at them had reference to a pomegranate molasses. And then I found like, well, what's pomegranate molasses? How to make a molasses. It's kind of like a reduction with sugar and everything. But then I found like a bottled molasses on Amazon that is just no added sugar to it. So I think that could be, anyway, so there's a smoothie on there. There's just like a nice salsa, pomegranate seed salsa. And then also a couple of products that I have stocked since I did the study on pomegranate. And that is, I have a pomegranate seed oil and then the pomegranate complete, which is different parts of the pomegranate by Life Extension. And then I have one that's just the highly concentrated seed oil in a supplement form. So I think, oh, good. So Dale says here, he has a new batch of Wondrous base oil started this morning. The heat cycle is done and it's steeping. So he's going to be able to use that or add that to our new batch. And then Dr. Kathy says, I use organic pomegranate oil on my skin. Can I ingest the oil and how much? It's interesting. I was trying to look for this morning, Kathy, I was trying to find pomegranate seed oil for culinary use, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find just the oil. I could find like pomegranate vinegar, and I could find pomegranate seed oil to, use cosmetically, but I couldn't find it I couldn't find it to actually advise you to actually cook with it or anything from the stuff that you would get at, say, Mountain Rose Herb or someplace like that. So I don't know. It looks to me like it's not something, I couldn't find anybody cooking with it in recipes with the oil itself. But that doesn't mean it's not done. So who knows? Everybody keep looking and get back to me. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for being with me. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We've got beautiful weather here in Keene, New Hampshire today. We've got, it's blustery, dry, and sunny. And it looks like it's going to be that way tomorrow for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to any fathers out there. And then we got a hot scorcher coming on New England coming up pretty soon during this week. So we'll get ready for summer. We'll get all our summer, mode on and dealing with the hot weather. And that's okay. That's okay because winter's coming soon enough, isn't it? All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.